All right, let's talk about a couple of things that your homeowner's insurance probably doesn't cover, right? Because most people doing short-term rentals don't have proper hospitality insurance cover. So one of the things that it probably doesn't cover is fire. So if a guest sets your house alight and it burns to the ground, you're probably not covered, right? So this is a really important thing to go and chat to your insurance company about is, am I covered if a guest burns my house down? Do I have public liability cover for at least 10 to 20 million rand? This is essential. So if a guest staying in your house injures themselves and they want to sue you, are you covered for that? Are you covered for theft in the property by a guest or in the event that you don't have an alarm? Most short-term rental properties, at least in gated estates, don't have alarms. And this is generally a requirement from a lot of insurance companies. So are you covered if you have a burglary and you don't have an alarm, right? Probably not, okay? Another thing, what about malicious or negligent damage, right? If a guest comes and stays in your property, they trash the house, or even worse, a guest stays in your house and they rob you. They take everything. They steal your TV, your couch, everything. Are you covered in that event? The answer is probably not, right? But it's important to go. These are all the important things that you need to go and ask your insurance company about, because I would venture as far as to say that over 80% of short-term rental hosts don't have the appropriate cover. And this is why it's really important to ensure that you go and ask your insurer if you are covered in these events. Because the last thing you need is to have a guest burn down your property. And if it's a 5 or 10 million rand property, the last thing you need to do is be paying premiums for 10 years only to learn when your house is burnt down that they're not going to cover your claim.